Hello guys, I said I was going to be making a little patch note video covering their most recent patches for the DST beta. However, they have released two major ones since the last time I had been on here making a video about it. I'm sorry for the delay. I just wanted to kind of wait for them to release a bit more stuff so the video doesn't have to be too short because I found it was a lot harder to have to go through multiple like 2-minute videos just covering the little patch notes that they released. And a lot of the stuff are just like small things. So first off, they added some scrapbook entries. They do this for every beta, obviously, because sometimes the scrapbook entries are missing. This is like the in-game Wikipedia. For those of you who don't know, it's pretty nice that they added this because it lets you see all the stats and stuff. So, it's a very good change that they keep updating, and I think it was a great addition to the game overall. They also made it so Rose Resurrection for Winona prioritizes the forward posture and when being saved out on the ocean. The one reef may now be fed to refresh its spoilage, so you can give it food because it has a rabbit on top. The code of carats duration before it spoils it has been increased, and they can now be repaired with carrots. So that's pretty interesting. Not carrots, carrots. The Rabbit King now has a respawn timer when it leaves or is killed. This does not apply to the Lucky Rabbit, so you can still spawn it with a Lucky Rabbit, I believe. I don't know how to pronounce that name, but they called it the Lucky Rabbit in the dev live stream, so I'm assuming that's what it still is. They had some tuning adjustments to smooth out the flow of the fight. Currently, he had a long like timer between each time he would jump, and you couldn't hit him unless he had jumped and missed. So there was just a lot of awkward just standing around waiting for him to jump. So I think they tuned the fight to be a bit more smooth now. They also doubled, I believe, the length of the Spelunker's Bridge. I was personally hoping they made it like a bit longer because we still are going to have to rely on RNG of how our cave spawns. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Honestly, 6 tiles seems like it could be big enough. I'm probably going to have to regen the cave still a bunch just to get an atrium that's like relatively close. But we'll see how it goes. They have also slightly decreased Gloomerane's attack range, damage, and uses. So they heavily nerfed the Gloomerang. I didn't think it was that OP, but it has lower attack range, lower damage, and I don't know. It was not reflecting its cost compared to other ranged weapons in similar tiers like the Howlets, or however, simply increasing the crafting cost is not desired at the moment. Designed to be a situational weapon with a slightly different playstyle. I think that it was already a situational weapon. I don't think that it's going to be the best anymore. I know people have been really loving the Shadow Maul, and so they decreased the lifesteal on that because it was pretty nutty. The Shadow Maul will now talk when starving if it is not equipped, that way you know when to feed it, because apparently when its hunger runs out, it breaks, so you have to fight things with the Shadow Maul or it will break. Added Royal Rabbit Enforcer art assets. Before, they were just the normal bunnymen in the caves that are like shadow variants when you were insane. So now they have their own art, which is good. They added deconstruction staff recipes for everything else. They buffed the weapon damage bonus from the Rabbit King's weapon. And any items that you have can now get stuck inside an Ichor if you get eaten. The Ichors will now ambush players in other parts of the caves, like on the little bridges in between different biomes. I believe I saw them. So they kind of will be there to block your way. But they have something in the next patch that I will go over here in a second, kind of changing how that was happening because they were spawning way too much. So there wasn't any like you'd kill them, but then they would come right back on your way back out of the caves. Great depth worms will no longer spawn at every depth worm waves and now replaces a wave on a chance each time that increases until it spawns and then the chance resets. So you won't get depth worms and the great depth worms. Honestly, those together probably would have been horrible. So that's a really good change. So now we look here, they added a sanity aura to the Ichor, and the Ichor spawns will go on cooldown for that area after defeating them all there. So this prevents them from just like spamming the same area while you're down there. Now the new Shadow Mob they added that I talked about in my previous beta video, which we will have hopefully linked somewhere in one of these pins in the video so you can see if you want to see like the full beta showcase. The new shadow monster they added now exists pre-rifts, but it gets upgraded and stronger during rifts. Now, it still only happens during the nightmare cycle, but it exists at all times now, and it has like faster attack speeds, more damage, stuff like that. So it'll be a lot more scary. Mimic Creeks are no longer considered thralls. A group of Inkblight Rictus will now sometimes replace the Inkblight trio spawns. So instead of getting ambushed by the trio, you can get basically a group of the new Snake Inkblight mob, which is pretty cool. So you have like 2 different variants of a mini boss fight. They also added a minimap icon for the bridge, and ornery chests now spawn in the labyrinth if it is reset while a shadow rift is open. So this is a very specific condition. You need to kill Fuel Weaver while a rift is open so the labyrinth can reset and an ornery chest will spawn in there. And this is important for the change that comes next. The Beefalo Gloombell, Nightmare Saddle, and Shadow Maul now require a possessed Shadow Atrium to be crafted. Now, a possessed Shadow Atrium requires you to take a Shadow Atrium, which is the black heart, and you put it into one of these new ornery chests that spawns in the labyrinth, and it turns it into like a chest that like turns into a monster. It's like a mimic from Dungeons and Dragons where the chest like attacks you. It basically is one of those, and then when you kill it, the heart drops, and then you can run around and pick it up. It kind of runs away from you, so you might need to use like a rabbit trap to pick it up or something. But I think it's pretty cool. It also will make these items way more expensive, especially because they are considerably pretty strong. So it's not going to be infinitely free B-flow respawns. You're going to actually have to work for these things. The next set of changes is actually really interesting to me because I wasn't expecting this. They added a Moonglass Saw Blade as an upgraded Sawhorse blade that you can put onto the Sawhorse, and it unlocks stone furniture crafting recipes when placed on a Sawhorse. So now we have stone furniture for more decor, so they're giving us more decor items, which is great. I'm hoping these new stone items also come with a big bundle of skin sets, because when they released the wood pieces, they gave us 3 bundles. So, and they all are very pretty for decoration. So I'm really looking forward to this. The Sawhorse also now has bulk crafting recipes for boards and cut stone. You can craft 5 boards and 5 cut stone at a time now, and it does it incredibly quickly. It is really cool. You don't have to worry about spending forever trying to craft a million boards so you can build the docks or whatever. The Sawhorse has it all covered for you. It's a pretty good change. I like that a lot. This has replaced the existing logs for finding feature, so you're better off just doing the logs yourself if you want individual ones. The Sawhorse now also has a crafting station filter. I believe that is all for the most recent patch. This came out just 2 days ago. I'm not quite sure if they're going to do a final change. We'll see. I believe someone was saying they also changed a little bit about the greater depth worm. I'm not quite sure. Maybe it was the loot or how much damage it does, but I'm assuming they'll release some final changes for that. But as of right now, this is all there is. I'm sorry for the little delay that we had. I know when it comes to DST, there is only so much content that comes out every now and then, but it was just because of their most recent change. Before, DST was doing updates every month, and they were a bit smaller updates, but they decided this year that they wanted to do bigger updates once every 3 months. And I think this is great because we get more content during that 3-month upgrade cycle. However, obviously that leads to huge bits of downtime. I think they could probably benefit from having like not even it really doesn't even need to be content. They just, if they release some new skin bundles during the intermission, that would be fantastic, because a lot of people who like play a lot of DST, they love skins, including myself. Skins are fantastic because you get to use and build stuff with them, and skins are basically like new content. So the only thing I would really want between this update schedule is more skins during like the intermission periods where we don't have any content coming out, because I think that would be fantastic. But everything else is great. This update seems like it's going to be a lot of fun, and I hope you guys are excited for DST beta coming out.